As the new leader of the Decepticons, I command you to subscribe to Spurs in Focus.
Your San Antonio Spurs picked up a Game 3 win, regained home court advantage. Yes, right. Yeah, Rudy's clapping. And now they are seemingly in control of the series versus the Minnesota Timberwolves. Welcome to a live episode of Spurs in Focus right here on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Pocket Cast, Amazon Podcast, YouTube Music. The list goes on and on. Go subscribe right now. Don't forget about the Substack, Spurs in Focus Substack, completely free. Sign up. You're part of the crew. I am Jeff Garcia, longtime Spurs writer in San Antonio. The man next to me, you know him, you love him, Rudy Campos of the Sports Answer. And we are back with a live reaction from Spurs beating the Wolves. It was a close one for most of the game, so the Spurs took control late in the fourth period, beating Minnesota 115-108. We thank y'all for joining us. And if you have comments, leave them in the comment section. We'll read them later on the show. We got a lot to talk about. What went right for the Spurs? Did anything go wrong for them? Yeah, there was a couple of things that did go wrong. And what was our turning point? Standout stats, players that stood out to us, so much more. Join us in just a few minutes. Rudy, how you feeling after the win?
I'm feeling really good considering I called 117 to 110 earlier in the Friday drive with you in the Sports Answer. I called 117, 110. If they could only just score 2 more points each, I would have nailed it right on the coffin, man. Nail on the coffin there. But nonetheless, Jeff, yes, I do have a DeLorean. You did ask me earlier.
I knew it. I knew you had a DeLorean. Doc gave you that car there. You hit 80 miles per hour, and he took off into the future for Game 3. It was a great win. It was a much needed win. Why? Because historically, the team that wins Game 3 goes on to win the series more often than not. It's like a whopping 90% or 80, high 80s or 90s around there. It is good. In other words, it's a good thing. It's a good thing the Spurs got the W. They have the Wolves on their heels now with Game 4 looming this Sunday. But that's for another episode. We're going to talk about Game 3 right now. Right off the bat, Rudy, I love how the Spurs came out aggressive, took a commanding lead to start the game. Loved the focus, loved all that about it. But if we can get the one big bad thing out of the way first, was they blew the lead. They blew the lead. They allowed the Minnesota Timberwolves to come back, take the lead over the young Spurs. I thought momentum was going to swing towards Minnesota for the rest of the game. It did not. The Spurs fought back. They were physical. They answered the call. When Minnesota went on runs, they weathered the storm. The Spurs went on runs of their own. Wemby was being Wemby again. Likely more on him later. You saw everything just work out for San Antonio. The 3-shot was falling. As I mentioned, the physicality was matched. Yes, the Spurs did what they had to do, and they got the home court advantage back. Rudy, what did you see from this team in Game 3?
So the Game 3 start to for San Antonio, Minnesota, it's exactly what happened in Game 2. I mean, they came out strong. I think they were up 14-1 or went on a 14-1 run to start the game. And, of course, Minnesota did come back, something that's very expected. You're playing in Minnesota, playing against a hostile crowd. There was some calls. I love that the refs were allowing them to get physical and not making a whole lot of calls. Absolutely loved it. But from what I saw was the continuation of that Game 2 thrashing that they gave the Timberwolves. Yes, that's the kind of start that San Antonio needed to see and needed to have. Earlier, we talked about who this game meant more to, and I said the Spurs because you had to keep that momentum. You didn't want to give Minnesota any type of opportunity to get any type of hope or even to get focused. They did for a while there. They ended up tying the game, and the thing is that that's what we wanted to see out of San Antonio. Keep that focus, keep that momentum. They started off hot. They went ahead and they let their foot off the gas for a little while there. Tied at halftime, 51-51. But again, that second half, we used to hate that third quarter. But, man, that third quarter is becoming our best friend lately, isn't it?
Well, yeah, it was. But, if they had a 15-point lead in the first half and they blew that. I even texted you about that. I said they blew a lead and, you were like, oh, man, really? Like that bad? Yeah, 15-point lead gone just like that. And again, even though the Spurs took a punch and saw their double-figure lead go away, they never wilted. They never wilt. They didn't wilt at all. They held their heads high. They came out with aggression. Yeah, as you mentioned, it was tied 51 at half. And look at some of the halftime stats here. The Spurs seemingly in control, out rebounding the Wolves at halftime, 33-26.
Yeah.
They were, I think we going to the free throw line, connecting more on their free throws, 78% to the Wolves, 62%. Everything was going right for the Spurs. Everything was going right for the Spurs. Less fouls than Minnesota at half. Second chance points well in favor of the Spurs. But again, you saw a lot of mental mistakes, some turnovers. More on that later. The Spurs had 8 turnovers at half, and that got corrected pretty fast in the second half, and especially in the fourth period. But you go to the second half where the Spurs took over the game late in the fourth period. 64-57. The Spurs with the advantage in the second half. Out rebounded the Wolves 22-21. All in all, it was just a great effort. And what I liked about it too was that your star took over. You had Wembanyama be the franchise player, from 3-pointers to the defense, being aggressive in the lane, scoring at the basket, taking the physicality. Mitch Johnson said that he felt that Wemby did a great job handling Minnesota's physicality because they were being physical with him. Even during the game, the commentators said, if you look at Wemby's arms, they're banged up, bruised, and scratched. Minnesota was doing everything they can to try to slow him down, but he fought through that. Second half, in my opinion, was just all Wemby. Wemby really took control and put the team on his shoulders. In the second half alone, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist. He did that all in 20 minutes. That is amazing. What are your general thoughts so far about Game 3?
So the biggest thing for me was what you mentioned about Victor Wembanyama. You saw him emerge again as, this is my franchise now. I'm the reason why we're going to get to a potential title. He is the franchise guy, as we mentioned. But one thing you got to look and kind of circle, Jeff, and I hope a lot of fans realize it, is that he's gone from, a young rookie to trying to develop into one of the best players in the league to now becoming a mature player. Why? Because he had 5 fouls for the longest time. He was able to stay out of foul trouble, kept himself in the game, made a difference towards the end of the game, knocked down a couple of 3-pointers to kind of put Minnesota away. And that shows maturity there, because an aggressive player like Victor Wembanyama, always going for the block, you would have thought, man, maybe they're going to call a foul to give him his 6th foul on one of these block attempts. He showed a lot of maturity there. And also props to Stephon Castle. I mean, he only had 3 fouls tonight. We've been giving him crap the entire series. But again, you saw the dog come out of Steph Castle when he had that little run-in with McDaniels. And again, I love the fact that the refs just said, you know what, double technical. And let me just say that the playoffs have shown us one thing, that the physicality is coming back. I would almost like the refs to swallow the whistles if players are just pushing each other. No double technicals, just separate them, go to your benches. Let's just keep on playing. But again, what I really liked was Victor Wembanyama's maturity tonight, having 5 fouls and proving that he can stay in the game even through foul trouble. Shout out to the guy that I called at the beginning of this series, Keldon Johnson. Jeff, you were giving him crap against Portland, and I said, it's a matchup thing. It's a matchup thing. He's back to being old Keldon Johnson off the bench. Great team effort tonight for the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah, absolutely. From Keldon Johnson, the guy seeing the screen there, to Steph Castle, obviously Wemby, more on him in a bit. Devin Vassell, even Dylan Harper, he took one in the back of the head, took a knee. I thought he was going to be out for the game, but he fought through that hit, and as well as this guy too, De'Aaron Fox. Hitting key shots, was being aggressive. He had some silly turnovers, but nevertheless, I think he did well, all things considered. Now, with that out of the way, let me give you my 3 big takeaways from the Spurs Game 3 win out in Minnesota. And number 1, we hit it the nail. Wemby dominant. He was just dominant. I give you just his second half stats, but if you break it down for the game, he had 39 points, 15 rebounds, 1 assist. He did that all in 36 minutes, and he was a plus 16 on the night. Shot 72% from the field, 83% from the free throw line, and he knocking down those 3-pointers. He made 3 of his 5 attempts. Just an all-around beast, obviously blocking shots. We know that. That's what he does. So, and you look at just what he did. throughout the game. 16 points of his 39 points came in the fourth period. He came up big for the Spurs when it mattered the most with the game on the line. Continuing there, we talk about turnovers. The Spurs had 0 turnovers in the fourth period, Rudy. They had none. That is huge. Playing smart, valuing the ball, valuing possessions. You got to love that. That's the second biggest takeaway from me. And also, 30-second chance points for the game. They really took that big advantage that the Minnesota Timberwolves have been having, at least so far through the first 2 games, and they just owned it. You're looking at, just second chance points here, as I mentioned, 30-12 for in the Spurs' favor. Actually, excuse me. Let me redo that again. The Spurs had 12 second chance points, excuse me. But nevertheless, I like that they were able to not get blown out in that department. They were able to hold their own. Rudy, I look at this team here and what the Spurs did. It feels like the Spurs took the Wolves' best punch in the series so far, and they're still standing. Your thoughts?
Yeah, absolutely. They're looking at a Spurs team that should be 3-0 right now against Minnesota, if not, for that first game debacle where just saw a couple of stars struggling. But yeah, seems like Minnesota threw everything they had at them in this game. And we kind of figured that. We kind of figured after that embarrassing loss in San Antonio that the Timberwolves were going to come out. We said Chris Finch was going to make adjustments. As mentioned on this Friday drive with you, Jeff, earlier, I said, look for De'Aaron Fox to struggle at the beginning of the game because they were going to make some adjustments. He had 6 points at halftime, but then we did say he was going to bounce back in the second half, and he ended up the game with 17 points. So again, 11 points in that second half. That's what we expected from Minnesota. We expected them to come out to fight, to make it a tough game because they did not want to lose home court. They did just that, but you know what? San Antonio at the end shows why they are the second best team in the league, probably the best team in the league now that we're thinking about it. They're getting battle tested left and right. Minnesota, just like Portland, is playing physical. It's getting San Antonio ready for the rest of the playoffs. Minnesota came out. They came out swinging. They got a knockout punch when they tied it at 51-51.
They did.
Spurs got back up before the 10 count. And guess what? They came out the victory 115-108.
Yeah.
Minnesota, I think, is safe to say maybe they're kind of deflated now.
They did look a little deflated. I mean, this was the best game that Ant Edwards has had in the series.
Exactly.
And the Spurs were able to weather that storm. Rudy Gobert, for his standards, was playing pretty well and offensively too. I never thought I'd say that, but he was doing really well. He even blocked Wemby's shot once during the game.
Yeah.
So it felt like the Spurs took the Wolves' best punch so far in this series, and they're still standing. But I also want to highlight this. Let's get to the clutch moments. Again, this was a back and forth game. This was a punch for punch slugfest, at least for a good chunk of the game until the late fourth period where the Spurs kind of took control of the game. Yeah. But in the clutch moment, late in the fourth period, Rudy, they outscored the Wolves 10-0 in the clutch time situation. Yeah. They out-rebounded the Wolves in clutch time 2-0.
Yeah.
They had 2 assists in clutch time. The Wolves had none. And they made all their shots in the clutch time, 3 of 3 from the field, while the Wolves went 0 of 2. They took control of the game when it mattered the most. I agree with Mitch Johnson, what he said after the game. This team continues to show growth. And to me, what they did in the clutch time is a big leap in growing and developing in the right direction. Your thoughts?
Absolutely, man. I mean, Mitch is completely correct on that when he says that the growth and development of this team it's proving that this team is that good, man. I mean, you always hear about the young, the youngsters and the immaturity, and maybe they don't have enough playoff experience. For whatever reason, no playoff experience Spurs feels like they're like this 10-year veteran type team.
Right, yeah.
And let's circle the obvious, man, because as great as these players are playing, there's one big reason why, and I'm going to bring it up again to you and see if you agree with it. If this coaching staff was not assembled, you may not see this kind of team.
Interesting.
The perfect staff under Coach Mitch Johnson for his first year. And again, you got to give him props, man. Every player in this system has played under a pop system previously, just about. you see the difference between night and day. And it's not a knock on Popovich at all. Love Coach Pop. But sometimes different coaches get better out of their players than a previous coach did. And you're seeing that from Coach Mitch Johnson. You see Sean Sweeney on the sidelines giving direction on the defensive side of the ball. This team is a completely different 180-degree turnaround team. And you got to start it with the coach, man. They're doing a fantastic job. They're making the correct adjustments in the playoffs. You saw them come back from Portland, down 15 and down 17 to win those games. They've been able to really, honestly dismantle the Minnesota Timberwolves. And let's be real, through 3 games. I mean, it is through 3 games.
Right.
They've been able to dismantle Minnesota. And it's not always just on the players. It's because this staff is doing a fantastic job of scouting, making the right adjustments, making the right calls. But I will say, the growth of this team, the maturity of this team, I will be one to say I did not expect it this season. I expected a playoff run this season. I did not expect to have championship aspirations this season.
Well, they are knocking on that door. 2 more wins, and they get to the conference finals.
Yeah,
we'll see about that. But before we continue here, I gotta talk about this too, and I think this gets highlighted through the stats here.
Sure,
is just how much they trust one another. So for the game now, we're talking about the overall game stats in Game 3, right? The Spurs recorded more assists than the Wolves, 26-22. Okay, fine. You're thinking right now, Jeff, okay, Big Wolf, 4 more assists. But check this out, though. The Spurs, they had a 67% assist percentage. And guess what? Points made off assists. So when they're passing the ball around, finding the guy, they scored 64 points off assisted points. That's huge. That tells me, yes, Wemby dominated, but he can pass out. He can trust his teammates to make the shot. We saw Champagnie hit some key threes late in the game. Same thing with De'Aaron Fox. Same thing with Dylan Harper. I love that stat. That just tells me that this team trusts one another. Your thoughts?
Do you remember the so-called beautiful game that the Spurs used to play? Move the ball around, and that's kind of what we're seeing with San Antonio. They're not looking for their best player, Jeff. They're looking for their best available shot, and that's what they're getting. You see a lot of open threes. Champagnie was open on the corner a few times from 3.
Man, was he?
You've seen Castle, De'Aaron Fox gets to the lane, makes a dump off pass to Victor. I mean, this team is sharing the ball, and it's something that shows because, again, when you move the ball around, and Coach Pop would say, a lot of coaches that do coach that way, when you move the ball around, you have a defender's head on a swivel. They end up losing the ball side of the ball, and you get a whole new world of offense there. So I agree. I mean, they've got to continue to share the ball. And the turnovers aren't even that bad. I'm looking at it right now. And you would think for as much as they move the ball, they only had 10 turnovers total tonight. Like you mentioned, no turnovers in the fourth quarter. When a team moves the ball a lot like that, they tend to make a few mistakes. So far, the Spurs really haven't had it, man. So continue to move that ball around. Continue to look for the best shot, not always a wide open person, but the best available shot. Continue to do a good job for San Antonio.
Now we're getting closer to 19 minutes into this live episode, and Rudy Campos has not mentioned Luke Cornett at all. Interesting. Mitch Johnson gave him a shout out. He said what Luke Cornett did in Game 3, he said may not show in the stat sheet, but he appreciated Cornett's effort, his steadiness to allow a guy like Victor to take a breather during the game. You've been advocating for this. You've been saying, hey, Cornett, play him more, get some bigs out there. What do you think about Cornett?
Yeah, I mean, he only played 11 minutes tonight, 2 points, had a rebound. But again, it's those 11 minutes that allows your star player, Victor, who was in foul trouble tonight, it allows him to get that rest, that extra breather. And you know what? You don't lose anything with Luke on the floor. Still got a 7-footer that can, attack Rudy Gobert, can make it tough for anyone that drives into the lane. So you don't lose anything. And this is the reason why he was one of the biggest, if not the biggest, free agent signing in the summer for San Antonio. It was for this reason here. You're able to give Victor a lot of rest. Remember, Victor only played 24 minutes last game. He ended up playing 37 tonight, which isn't too bad. I'm going to say it's not too bad. But again, Cornett, huge signing, man. He makes a huge difference. safe to say that I think Sunday on Mother's Day, Cornette, I'm gonna put the minutes at about 14 for him
Okay.
for that
All right.
day because I think Victor's gonna get a little bit more rest.
Before we get to our standout player and turning point, et cetera, et cetera. And of
Sure.
course, you guys, we haven't forgot about you guys. Your comments will be read later on in this episode. Steph Castle, you mentioned the big thing about him. He didn't get into foul trouble. Well below his averages as far as fouls are concerned. He averages 5. So for the game, he had 3. But we talked about this too earlier today, or I guess yesterday. By the time we're listening to this, we're watching this show.
Yeah.
Should he tone down his aggressiveness? And he didn't. He got in a little bit of a pushing and shoving match with McDaniels there. Was still being that relentless driver. I'm glad he did not tone down what makes him good, what makes him great, is getting to that paint. But what I want to highlight is this. So Castle, yes, he scored. Good job, Castle. But we're talking about assists. He facilitates. So he had 12 assists versus the Wolves in Game 3. But check this out. Of those 12 assists that he passed to, that generated 29 points for the Spurs. Rudy, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, all season long, Stephon Castle's probably been one of the best assist guys on San Antonio, along with De'Aaron Fox. But it kind of shows the dynamic that Stephon brings to the game, because you look at him and you feel maybe he's Victor's second-hand man. He can get 20, 25 points a game if he really wanted to. But he's also a facilitator, which is so deadly, because now you've got a Fox Castle, a Harper Castle backcourt. All 3 guys can make that extra pass, can make the correct pass. Stephon's making it easier for his teammates like Devin Vassell and Julian Champagny. Once he gets rolling, scores a few points, they've got to keep their eye on Stephon Castle at all times. So what does that do? When he gets the ball, someone's going to be open, and that's what he's doing. He's finding the right guy. It's a bonus, it's a plus, it's a blessing to have 3 technically point guards on the roster that can play together. You don't normally see that.
Right.
But again, shout out to Stephon Castle doing good. And yeah, the fouls, man. I mean, I was shocked when I saw he only had 3 fouls. The guys were fouling. Don't lose the aggressiveness. I think
don't lose it, no.
I got mad because he fouls a lot, but I also came back and said, you don't want him to lose the aggressiveness. That's the reason why you don't get rid of a guy like a De'Aaron Fox, because you can continue to allow Stephon Castle to be aggressive.
And he was effective. Steph Castle was effective. Now, he scored 13 points. Fine. We mentioned the assist and how it generated 20-plus points for the Spurs off those assists. He was still a plus 17 for the Spurs, despite the fact that he had an awful shooting night. He was 21% shooting from inside the 3 line, took 3 3-pointers, only made 1, 33%. And for the game, 27% shooting. But it's those little things that matter in the plus minus. It's the assist. It's the points generated off those assists. Turnovers, he kept it low, 4. The 4 turnovers didn't hurt us. 5 fast break points. You add all of that up, and he was a plus 17. He was a positive for the Spurs. And you look at Steph Castle, and I don't think he should stop being aggressive with Game 4 looming. So we'll see how that turns there. He is Mr. Rudy Campos with The Sports Answer. You want to follow him on X at The Sports Answer. And you want to follow me on X as well at Jeff G Spurs Zone. And by the way, thank you all to the 200 plus. Can we get it to 300, Rudy? Can we get 300?
Sure. I'm pretty sure we're blowing everybody else locally out of the water.
Let's get to 300 viewers, because that'd be awesome. And for those of y'all in the comment section, we haven't forgot about you. You guys will be coming up next. Yeah, we'll react to your statements. I forget it's not a school night, so y'all want to leave some extra comments? Feel free.
School night or not, Jeff, we're both old men. We should be in bed by now.
Back in my day, we didn't have live shows after games. We just had to wait till the little crawl at the bottom of ESPN will give you the score, and if you missed it, you may have to wait like 30 minutes before it goes out again.
We used to have a Spurs. It was radio, wasn't it, with Jay Howard? And there was somebody else that did a
oh yeah, that's right. I don't remember what it was. But you by the way, everybody, Rudy and I used to pay per view Spurs games.
Oh, not Jesus Christ! Yes,
you could do a pay per view per game if you wanted to back in the day.
If you wanted to watch a home game, you had to do pay per view, and
fun times.
It sucked, man, because when the playoffs hit, they didn't have playoffs on TNT and ESPN at all. You had to do pay per view. I missed the entire Golden State with Chris Mullen
Run TMC,
Run
man.
TMC. I'm not gonna lie, that was the year that I really wanted to watch the playoffs. They were playing the Spurs in the first round. Paul Pressey was the point guard for San Antonio, and I was like, I want to see this. I want to see this pay-per-view. Nope, my parents weren't rich, so I couldn't watch pay-per-view at all.
I forgot how much it cost for a game. Was it expensive?
No,
I don't remember.
So I want to say, I don't know why it's either $14.95 or $24.95. I don't know if it's 14 or 24.
I can still see those 90s graphics in my head,
Oh yeah,
pay-per-view look and everything. Look fuzzy.
That's wasn't it Paragon Cable?
Paragon, yes, it was. Yes, it was Paragon. Yeah,
we're at 300, so there you go, Jeff.
There we go. See, talking about old times gives you the viewers, Gerald. Thank y'all for the 300 plus now. They're tuning into this live episode of Spurs in Focus, reacting to the Spurs' big Game 3 win, 115-108 over the Minnesota Timberwolves. They now lead in the series 2-1, regain home court advantage. Game 4 is this Sunday, absolutely. Mother's Day. Hopefully they can give all Spurs fans that are moms a nice gift and have a stranglehold on the series. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves right now. So many things to take away from this Spurs win. And seriously, there really was a lot to take away from Wemby's dominance. More on him in a bit. Gee, I wonder who I'm going to pick for player of the night or standout player. But you just go down the list. Even like Carter Bryant, some timely threes when he was out there. He had 6 points, and let's see, I got it here. Yeah, he had 6 points. He went 2 for 2 from the field, and those 2 shots were from the 3 line, so it was perfect. And he was a +7 on the night for the team. We mentioned another guy that I think deserves to be mentioned is Devin Vassell. Devin Vassell had himself a solid night with 13 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists in 36 minutes. He was a +10 on the night for San Antonio. And again, just doing the little things that matter. 3 assists here. We mentioned the 6 rebounds, 2 steals, minimal turnovers, just 1 turnover.
Yeah.
So everybody just did their part. You mentioned Keldon Johnson, 11 points off the bench, 2 rebounds, 1 assist in 18 minutes, 5 points in that second half when the Spurs took control of the game late in the fourth period. But Rudy, you called this game. You nearly called the final score. Why did you come into this game with that in mind, that the Spurs would have a somewhat of a comfortable win? I had them scraping for a win. You had them kind of, right there with just having a good hold on the game.
So the way I looked at it was, after that blowout game, I knew for a fact Minnesota was going to come back and they were going to keep it really, really close. And where the Spurs came out, I didn't expect them to come out, on a 14-1 run.
I didn't expect that. Yeah,
that would have. You told me that happened, I would have not believed you at all. But what I ended up looking was that Minnesota was going to come in there. We're going to keep it super duper close, in which they did 51-51 at halftime. Spurs came out after halftime. They started to play Spurs basketball again, knocking down shot after shot. But even though the Spurs came out hot, Minnesota still was able to keep, pace with San Antonio. They closed it to within, I believe it was 1 point at one point opportunity there. So I relatively knew that the Spurs were going to come out on top towards the end of the game because of the way they've been playing every single playoff game. Even in those losses, they've been playing to the very end, to the very last buzzer. They're taking better shots. They're taking great shots. The opportunities for them are always there. They are playing smart basketball. And that's the reason why I said it was going to be somewhat of a comfortable win. When you saw Minnesota coming back, Jeff, I really wasn't too worried about it because you could see the body language. Minnesota not necessarily panicking, but knowing they needed this game, taking a missing shot after shot, taking shots that were kind of like questionable. What does San Antonio do? They get the rebound. They come back down. They run their set play. They get set. They get ready to go, knocking down 3-pointers, getting to the basket, drawing fouls. The body language is what tells you about everything. Body language going into game 4. Like I said, seems like Minnesota may be a little bit deflated. So that's how I knew that it was going to be a comfortable win for the Spurs, just by the body language, man. I mean, after a blowout like that, they were going to come out huffing and puffing at halftime. I fully expected the Spurs to take over the second half, and that's what happened.
What do you think about Harper being part of that closing lineup? He was a closer. He technically was a closer for this Spurs team. It wasn't Champagne. It was the rookie Harper.
Well, I mean, when you can have 5 on the court, you obviously want to have one of your top 4 guys, which Harper definitely is one of their top 4 guys. I have no problem at all with Dylan Harper being there. Why? Because the coaching staff, his teammates, they trust him. And being there at the end shows that you've got a lot of trust and you've earned that trust. Even as a rookie, they're not looking at you as a rookie. They're looking at you as a veteran type player who in clutch moments and in key moments can make the right decision with the ball in your hand. Dylan Harper came into the NBA as probably the best and the top-rated draft prospect I know on my board. Reason being, man, he's a very smart basketball player, very high IQ, knows what to do with the basketball, is very careful. That's why he was out there in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, exactly. And you look at the Spurs' best lineup as far as the plus-minus is concerned. In that final frame, it was Wembanyama, Vassell, Castle, and then there it is. There's Harper. He's there. That unit was a +5 when they were out there. But it's interesting. It's not Barnes. It's not a guy like a veteran that'll do the smart thing. No, it's that guy you see on your screen. He's part of that crew there. All right. I see the comments coming in. We're gonna get to it, but it's time to break down this game a little bit with a little more finer comb here. And let's start off. I always have this game with Rudy. Right? He knows what the categories are, but he doesn't know what order I'm going to go in. Yeah, so, Rudy, do you want to pick the category, or you want me to surprise you?
It's a game that we play. It's kind of our tradition. So you surprise me.
You know what? Let's see what the fans say. Well, fans, should I drop this on him? Who is his the standout stat, the standout player, or the turning point? You want to leave a comment in there? We'll get a great game. All right. Well, I guess I could work with that. Nope. Do I see any there? No. Okay, then I'm going to take control then.
You take control.
I'm going to take control. I gave you a chance there, everybody. I gave you a chance. Let's throw this towards Mr. Rudy Campos.
You had to add an S at the end of players, and I'm glad you did because I got a couple here. Number one, I got to give credit to my standout player. Is going to be Stephon Castle. Reason being, he had a double-double tonight, 13 points, 12 assists, added 4 rebounds. Did have 4 turnovers, but I'm going to forgive him, obviously, because he had only 3 fouls in the game. He continued to be aggressive. The refs allowed both teams tonight to play physical. Stephon Castle took it to his advantage. He played physical tonight, didn't get a lot of the fouls called on him, which is fantastic. He's one of my standout players. My other standout player, Jeff, is a guy that everybody wants to trade left and right, even though he was a -2 in the plus-minus tonight. If they hadn't have wanted, you guaranteed he would have been on the trading block by tomorrow morning. That is the Sandman himself, De'Aaron Fox. Why is he the Sandman? Because he comes in at the end of the games and he puts these teams to bed. That's exactly what he did against the Portland Trail Blazers. He does that against Minnesota from time to time. De'Aaron Fox tonight, 17 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds. He had a steal. Only 2 turnovers, again, short on the turnovers. I love it right there. He was a -2 of all things, but he stuffed this whole stat sheet. But again, De'Aaron Fox is another standout player for me. The backcourt, Fox, Castle. I mean, you can't get any more better standout players than that. I know you got one, obviously. I gave you the easy one. You always give me the hard one.
Well, it's not that it's easy. It's just this one's like so obvious. You can't help it.
And I don't like obvious. I hate obvious. I mean,
I know it, but you can't ignore what he did in Game 3. You can't ignore it.
You can't.
He took this team on his shoulders in the game. Yeah, my standout player, I'm gonna go singular for this one, is that guy seeing your screen there, Wembanyama. What he did in this game, I would call it a coming out party because I think he had several of those already. But 39 points, 15 rebounds, 1 assist, and what makes it just fascinating, and he did all that in 36 minutes. And he was a +16 for the Spurs, second highest plus minus behind Steph Castle. But it's just what just does it for me is the fourth period. He just took control of that game. 16 points, 6 rebounds, 1 assist, and he did that in 10 minutes, 10 freaking minutes. In the clutch time, he was clutch. He was a leading clutch scorer with 5 points. 1 rebound, 1 assist in 2 minutes, a +10 in the clutch time situation. They needed him. because the game was still close. Minnesota was still within striking distance. And if it wasn't for that guy you see on your screen, maybe we're looking at a different ending of game 3. He is my standout player, Mr. Victor Wembanyama. Look, I couldn't help it. You can't ignore what he did. You can't ignore it. You can't. That one. I think fans would bash us if we didn't say, "Whoa, why y'all ignore about Wemby? See what Wemby did."
I think the fans respect the fact that we can pick other players outside of the obvious ones and make cases for them. And I think that it shows right here with the comment. Great Spurs content. Get those likes up. Appreciate Silverwolf Ventures, man.
Thank you, Silverwolf. Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing is that Victor's going to Victor. And, we talked about it yesterday on the Friday drive when I said Victor's going to have a monster game. It's De'Aaron Fox is going to struggle at the beginning. Fair enough. Victor came out monster game. Do we see it on Mother's Day? There's no way to stop him. And that's the scary part is that Minnesota has a DPOY, a defensive player of the year in Rudy Gobert. And you saw the way he defended the best player. And as I'm saying it, the best player in the league in Nikola Jokic. He makes it so difficult. But now we're starting to see a new player emerge like Victor Wembanyama. Gobert hasn't really figured it out on how to stop him. And yet they're from the same country. They play Olympic basketball together. You would think he'd have some kind of idea on how to guard Wemby. No, he's getting to the point, Jeff, and I know you always gave me crap about it when I said he's not generational. I've said, you know what? My entire head has been peeking out of the bushes. I was looking at it more. He's getting to be that generational talent very, very quickly. But the thing is that we've never seen a player like this ideally before. We've seen 7-footers knock down threes. We've seen Kevin Durant get hot. We've seen him go between the legs. But yet we've never seen a 7'4" guy do what he does, and it's on both sides of the court. That's it. That's the coup de grace right there. He does it on both sides of the court. Durant does it on one side. Will Chamberlain was dominant, but he didn't have a jump shot. So, I mean, you're getting every single dominant player you've seen in the past 100 years of basketball in just one player.
Yeah, you are. You really are. There's a reason why that he's called the alien, and y'all saw it versus the Timberwolves in game 2. All right, the next category we got.
Oh, man, standout stats. There's 2 of them for me right here.
Take it away.
They kept the Timberwolves under 10 points on the fast break. They were able to beat them 13-7 on fast break, a stat that they've been dominating, against Minnesota. Even in game 1, they dominated Minnesota on the fast break stats. Minnesota has yet to score double digits on fast break points.
Ooh, good point.
Amazes me because you've got a player like Anthony Edwards, Jaden Daniels. These guys like to run. They are not able to run on San Antonio. So that's one of my stats. The other standout stat was, again, the points in the paint. Not just Victor. It's the attacking by Dylan Harper, De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle. All of these players, yes, they are shooting the 3 ball, but yet they are still getting to the paint and making it tough for Minnesota, especially again tonight when Minnesota was able to score a basket. They get back down the court to get a layup or an and one or something in the paint. 2 major categories that the Spurs keep winning. They keep doing that. It's going to be night for Minnesota in 5.
Ooh, 5. So, yeah, I mean, it'd be great because it looks like the Thunder are taking care of business versus the Lakers. Seriously,
Lakers are going to win game 3. I'm already calling that. I can already
Rudy,
see that.
man. You need a heat check with these predictions. That could be your heat check.
Well, yeah. I mean, if anybody was talking on Laker radio, I can do that too.
Do you think the series changes completely if Luka was playing?
The Lakers would guarantee to get 1 game for sure. I think maybe 2 with Luka.
All right. Well, hey, y'all here for Spurs talk, not Laker talk. All right.
Yeah, no.
Hey, so Rudy, great stats, good picks. For me, I think I'm gonna go with this number. I got it right here. Let me get it for you guys here. 38.8. So what is that? Free throw rate. The Spurs had a better free throw rate than the Minnesota Timberwolves at 21.2. The aggressiveness was there. They were getting to the line. They were getting Minnesota in foul trouble. They were breaking down their defense. Last I checked, Rudy, I thought that's what Minnesota was known for. One of the best defensive teams in the league. Well, this free throw rate shows me otherwise, that they were getting the calls in their favor throughout the game. 38.8% for the Spurs free throw rate. I love that. I love that. They got to keep up that aggressiveness, that physicality, make the refs make the calls. Castle, don't even hit your pinky toe on the brakes. Just keep on doing what you're doing. Victor too, you saw him being aggressive going to the rim. All in all, yeah, I thought that was a good stat for me. I love that rate. Free throw rate, yeah, just was way up there.
Well, turning point of the game, Jeff. I'm gonna say that you and I. This is a question that you and I both answered. We're gonna have the exact same answer. I don't think you're gonna be able to come up with something else. Turning point was coming out of halftime, them knocking down those 3-pointers, coming out on fire. No starter had a 3-point made in the first half. What happens? They come out in the second half, and every starter knocks down a 3-point shot. So that is a definite turning point of the game. Tied 51-51 going into the locker room. Minnesota feeling good because they hit buzzer beaters in the first 2 quarters. Hey, came back in the third quarter. They thought, okay, we can contend. No, they ended up pretending and not contending when it came to the third quarter. The Spurs came out hot, Jeff. That is the turning point of the game. That's when it just went bonkers and haywire in Minnesota. I did not see tears on Timberwolves fans because they know there's a game 4, but there was a lot of sniffles in that crowd there because of the start that the Spurs had in game 3 of the third quarter of game 3. That's my turning point.
Shocking, Rudy. I do have a different turning point than you do. No, that's a great one. That's a great one, though. That's a really, really good one. But I'm going to go late in the fourth period.
Okay.
With about 4 minutes and 23 seconds left. The score was 102-100 Spurs. All right. Okay. But from that moment on, the Spurs go on a +6 run, an 11-5 run from pretty much the 4:23 moment of the period, the final frame, to about 26 seconds left. The score then becomes 113-105. In that run, that's where the Spurs took control. Wemby, 7 points. The Wolves go 2 for 7 from the field and only go 1 for 5 from the 3-point line. To me, that was a turning point. You would look at around the 6-minute point of the fourth quarter. It was still close. It was 99-98. The Spurs with a 1-point lead. About 4 minutes and 38 seconds left in the game. It was 102-100. Spurs with the lead. Slim lead. But that run turned the whole game. Victor was being Victor. Put the team on his shoulders. I'm going to go with that. The fourth quarter run to seal the deal. Thanks to that guy you see on your screen right now, Victor Wembanyama, and the rest of the crew there. But what a game, everybody. What a game. Spurs 2-1 series lead. Rudy, what are the fans talking about right now?
So we got a lot of comments in. A great question came up, and this is from Matt Silverwolf Ventures. He says, is Minnesota a tougher team than OKC for the Spurs? That is an absolute
good question.
Brilliant question. Now, let me rewind the clock here a little bit and said that, before the playoffs started this year, I said your NBA champion was going to come in that part of the bracket, which was Minnesota, Denver, San Antonio, Portland, not so much. But those 3 teams, your NBA champion was going to come out of. You saw the way the Spurs played OKC in the regular season. It wasn't false. It wasn't a false narrative. It wasn't something that was like, it's just regular season. No, they put the beating on OKC, even during a close game. They still were managed to able to control OKC. If SJ was getting his, nobody else were getting theirs. The Spurs know how to tame Oklahoma City, and that is why I'm saying easily Minnesota is the toughest team. The Spurs have the toughest path to the NBA Finals coming out of the Western Conference. You see what OKC is doing. OKC, they're playing against teams that aren't really technically playoff teams. Let's be real. OKC, no. San Antonio, yes. Minnesota, San Antonio, that is preparing them for the next round. Should they get there against OKC? Yeah, I think Minnesota's the tougher team.
That is a great question. And something I'm going to let you know now, Silver. I'm probably going to use it for an upcoming episode of Spurs in Focus. Should the Spurs survive this series? Yeah, that's a fantastic question. I'm gonna have to say, because they present OKC is not as physical as Minnesota can be. The only thing, I don't know. Do we want to add the refs in as well on the Oklahoma City side, because that could be a huge part there. That could be a tough Oklahoma City if the whistles go their way all the freaking time. But
yeah.
but outside of that stupid thing, no, I think the Spurs. It feels like the Spurs were almost built for the OKC Thunder. I mean, to just take them on, and we saw in regular season, even in the one loss, it was just one loss. They beat them 5 times and they beat them 4. That's your defending NBA champs there. But good question. All right, what else is everybody talking about?
We've also got Oberyn in here. He did mention that it was a great game.
Yes, it was.
We're back in here. He plays defense. He plays defense very well. Can score as well as Castle times. I'm not sure who was talking about there.
Yeah.
Lassos says, "Go Spurs, go."
Good.
Your buddy. I don't know how to say that. I'm not going to say that right now.
It's Quapt. Oh, Quapt. You're still here again. It's Kobe wears a pink. The T's, what I don't remember. Trousers. I don't remember.
Maybe
but go ahead.
I don't know.
Or maybe a pink brothers. T-shirt, yeah.
Tony Brothers, basically talking about Tony Brothers. He really did let them play tonight.
He did. By the way, was Brothers and Finch going to throw?
I was hoping so. So good thing you brought that up. When they called timeout, a Timberwolves player put his hand on Tony Brothers and pushed him back. I thought that was attack. You're not supposed to.
Should have, unless it was trying to calm him down. You know, like
could have been it. I mean, it could have been a calm down thing. I just kind of looked at it like I don't know how. Let's be man. Honestly, how did Chris Finch not get a technical there?
I was saying the same thing. How did he not get thrown out?
Well, thrown out, you don't throw him out, but how do you not get a tech there? I mean, brother, when you see Tony Brothers that pissed off, you're probably going to get a technical. And I don't know how he did it.
Imagine what he must have told Brothers to get him that or fired up.
I think what it was he was trying to call timeout. Tony didn't give him the timeout, so he had to run to half court, and that's when he started yelling at him. I tried to call effing timeout. You didn't give me the timeout, yada yada. So Tony Brothers is basically, I did not see you, I did not hear you. They were going back and forth. That's a whole probably Spurs and focus there. Mario's back in here. Yeah. The small ball philosophy might come back to bite them. Going with smaller, quicker players works if they all commit to it. Playing Cornetta Wemby will prevent the Wolves getting offensive boards. Now, that's a good question and a good point because we talked about it in the last time we went live, where we did see a Cornette and Wemby trio or a duo basically for a little while there. My thing on this with Mario is, I'll say this and I'll let Jeff get to it, is the Spurs necessarily aren't getting beat on the boards. So I wouldn't worry too much about a Cornette Wemby unless they are getting out rebounded. I can see that. I see that lineup maybe for OKC when they have Hardenstein and Chaff in there. But against Minnesota, they're not necessarily losing on the board. So I don't know if I'd go with that lineup. But again, the smaller lineup, it's starting to work, especially with Carter Bryant healthy and back in. So, Jeff, what do you think on that comment there?
Well, we saw it work. The small ball work in the Portland series. Remember, Splitter came out after a game, after their win, saying, well, yeah, they don't have Wemby, at least for that one game. We're just going to go big, and they go small. We can outscore them. He literally said that. And guess what? Small ball won out. So I think there's something there. The small ball is working right now. Playing Cornette and Wemby will prevent the Wolves getting offensive boards. I don't think. I agree with you, Rudy. They haven't rebounding has not been an issue so far in this game. I think it's kind of even for the most part. But no. I think. Hey, don't fix what's not broken. If the small ball's working, then go for it.
Yeah, I mean, in this game alone, they did get on the offensive rebounds. The Spurs had 8. Minnesota had 15. Not big enough of a difference, I think, to make that kind of change. When it comes to total rebounds, Spurs had 48, Minnesota had 54. Again, not too concerning.
Champagny had 12 rebounds in the game.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting rebounds from even your guards. So I like the idea. I think we may see it maybe pretty soon here, if not in this series, probably definitely in the OKC series. We may see that. Appreciate that comment, Mario. Silverwood says Spurs played ball in their second half. They did. And he also said that Minnesota's defense is Minnesota's definitely feeling it after this one.
They definitely are.
Bunch more comments coming in, Jeff. Pete Aguilar says, go Spurs, go Jefe.
All right, yes, go Spurs, go.
Wemby is built for this.
That he was.
We got
the numbers showed it, Pete.
Longtime fan of us here over at Sports Answer and Sweep the League back in the day. Darth Odium says Tony Brothers is not making a lot of calls tonight. They even called out the commentators even got called out. And that's what we said. They were letting him play physical.
Yeah, they really were.
I loved it. I loved they were playing. Mike Tirico and Reggie Miller on this call Sunday night on NBC. Thank you, Tim, for that. Castle doesn't get any calls. There was a moment, Jeff, in that fourth quarter. Anthony Edwards bodied Castle. Julius Randle bodied Castle on the exact same play. Did you get a little frustrated seeing that?
I loved it. I love that physical style.
Yeah,
I liked it because Castle was giving it back to them. There was a point he got a call to foul for it, but remember when he was driving to the lane, he threw kind of a little elbow at somebody. He called for an offensive foul, but he's giving it back right to them. He's not backing down. Yeah. I also think it works well for the competitive juices for Castle. It gets them fired up. And, it's like pretty much saying it's go time. And I think he lives for those moments. You saw him push McDaniel. McDaniel pushed back. They had to be separated. And what is it with Minnesota? He seems to get chippy versus Minnesota. Like you're noticing that he usually that's not his character throughout the regular season to get into scraps or confrontations. But so far through this Minnesota game, he's already gone back-to-back games with back-to-back confrontations.
Maybe Timmy got in his ear and said, "I need you to pay back Minnesota from all those Garnett stinky breath moments when he was yelling in Tim's ear and all that stuff." So maybe it's payback for that. I have no idea. No, Garnett doesn't have stinky breath. I don't want to get called out on next for that.
Yeah, don't do that.
Those are all the comments we got, man, and appreciate it. We were almost at 400 total views, which right now we're
so close. We'll get it next time.
Definitely will, but it's a late night, man. Everybody's honking right now.
Everybody's honking. By the way, if you're out there right now, don't be a knucklehead.
Yeah.
Don't be a knucklehead. Just enjoy it. Have fun. Just don't do anything stupid out there.
Yeah.
Rudy might go streaking, everybody.
No.
He might go streaking down Commerce Street.
God, no. I no. I don't have the body to go streaking, and I don't want to blind anybody, for seeing anything that they're not supposed to.
Your streak moment is the reason why they shut it down completely.
Yes.
not lighting streets on fire or flipping cars over. Rudy Campos decided to show everybody his birthday suit for his Spurs win.
Last time I went streaking was when COVID was around and nobody was in the streets, so nobody could see me. So
last time I was streaking was I came out of my mom's womb. That was about it.
Hey, you want an update? You want an update?
Yeah.
Darth, they are shooting in my hood. Idiots.
Are you being serious, Darth? Or are you just saying that just for reals?
I mean, I've known Darth since high school, so I don't know. I might.
Sure, it's not fireworks. You maybe just double check it's not fireworks.
I think it's the South Side, Jeff. You know about the South Side more than anybody else.
I do know about the South Side. I hope it's not the South Side. I really, really hope. Oh, we got a couple more comments. Another comment coming in. What does that say?
And tell Adam Silver to put the games on NBC instead of Prime Video. I don't know. Yeah. I mean,
by the way, good news about the next game. It's early. Everybody, it's 6:30. So
I thought it was at 4. I thought it was at 4. Yep, there you go.
Let me double check. Maybe I got the.
No, it's at 6:30. But originally I thought it was at 4. But yeah, he lives on the west side where I used to live. Shout out to Calabria and General McMullen. He says, yeah, they're shooting.
Rudy, go tell your people to calm down.
I moved away from that area a long time ago, Jeff. I'm not going to go back.
Don't go back right now. That's a bad idea.
You can take the boy out of the hood. You can't take the hood out of the boy. So I'm not definitely going to go back to that at all.
Yeah, but look, a great game. Great game 3 for your San Antonio Spurs. They get the W. That's what matters in the end. 115-108. Mm-hmm. Spurs lead the series 2-1. Regain home court advantage. Now all the pressure's on Minnesota in game 4 on Mother's Day too. So go figure. By the way, if you're in San Antonio, the city of San Antonio is hosting its own watch party. For more information on that, you want to go to Spurs in Focus on Substack. Can't miss it. I have a picture of the Coyote on the Spurs court. Literally says their city of San Antonio announces 2 free. They're free, everybody. They're free. Go check it out. Spurs in Focus. If you want to go hang out with your fellow Spurs fans, or maybe take mom out and check out the game with her for a while. So there's that as well. So go check it out. Again, if you're out right now in San Antonio celebrating, don't be dumb. All right. Don't be shooting. All right. That's it. Oh, well, Omar is clarifying just to make sure we got the right stuff here.
Fireworks in the west side. John McMullen Commerce. Go Kennedy Rockets. Yeah. Shout out to John McMullen, man. I'm a kid from the mean streets of General.
McMillan.
I'm a kid from the mean streets of General McMullen and Culebra. So I lived right there
That
down the street from St. Mary's. You know St.
Yeah.
Mary's. I mean, come on.
that was my hood for 4.5 years when I was at St. Mary's.
You were down the street.
I still what I would go to the Fred's Fish right there on Culebra at the corner.
Fred's Fish next to the car wash.
Next to the car wash, right? And then I remember I lived on campus, even though I lived in San Antonio. But there was like almost like I don't want to say a swamp, but like a very non-kept, high, tall, grassy area. Mm-hmm. And we had some of the administrators tell everybody who lived in that dorm near it, saying like, "Be careful for rattlesnakes." So that's why they're called the St. Mary's Rattlers. There's literally rattlesnakes where I live there.
Original Henry Puffy's Taco right there.
Yeah, that's right. It was right there on the corner. Yeah, it moved, right? It didn't get shut down, right?
No, it's still there. It is still there. They opened up another location, but yeah, it's still there. Man, that was like the mecca of grocery stores, Jeff, because you had Handy Andy, you had an Albertsons, and you had a Kroger back in the day, all in that little area for Bandera and St. Cloud, I think is what it was.
I used to walk to Woodlawn Lake because St. Mary's was just right down the street to Woodlawn Lake.
Yeah, it wasn't too far.
It wasn't too far. I would walk and just kind of chill out there and whatnot. We got a couple more comments. Okay, there we'll go. Okay. Somebody's reacted to shirtless Rudy.
Rudy will run shirtless when Duke wins the national championship. Tim Gonzalez is a big Duke fan, and Tim knows I hate Duke so much. The reason to bring that up. I think the Wolves and OKC are both the same physicality. The difference is the refs let them play defense, while they don't let their opponents do the same and make the team adjust to their D. And he does mention OKC is trash all around. So, yeah, a lot of comments.
Yeah, good show, everybody. Good show. I'm purposely delaying because I want to see that number hit to 400, Rudy. I'm sorry. I just want to see it hit for it. Henry Robitaille will look at it. Woodlawn and Bandera. Yes, it was.
Still there. The original.
Yeah.
The original. Okay, there you go. 400. I think.
Okay, there we go. Yeah, now I can drop the mic now. Okay. We appreciate y'all, all 400 of y'all tuning in right now as we close this live episode of Spurs in Focus. Again, go subscribe right now. That can be on YouTube, YouTube Music, Amazon Podcasts, iTunes, Spotify. The list goes on and on. Substack, Spurs in Focus Substack is completely free. Go check it out right now. Become a subscriber. Be a part of the crew. That guy on your screen, he is Mr. Rudy Campos. Not going to go streaking. Sorry, ladies of San Antonio. But Rudy, what's going on with the answer?
Sports Answer, man. Our main show is now the Friday Drive. Every single Friday, myself, Derek Irvin. You'll catch Jeff on there from time to time. We've also got other content coming out as well. NBA playoff talk. We're going to do some shorts for you guys out there. We'll have a couple of Box Score Studio and Sports Answer collaborations coming out very, very soon. And again, you can go to Answer Now TV, hit that subscribe button, where not only you will find Sports Answer and the Friday Drive, you also catch Spurs in Focus as well. So we got a lot going on, man. It's playoff time. And I have to admit, WNBA season just tipped off, I think, tonight. Right. So there's going to be more WNBA talk. There's going to be some NFL talk coming up because camps are opening up. So a lot of stuff. Hey, I don't know if you want to talk about this next time, but lottery is this weekend. This Sunday is
right. The lottery.
So there's a lot of interesting scenarios there. So keep an eye on the lottery, man.
Yeah, don't forget it. We'll probably do some SA Toros talk, but it'll probably be on Rudy's side of the field here. The pro team in San Antonio, the new pro team, just revised, is kicking off their season in just now 16 more days. Yeah. So apparently there's a party at Rudy's tonight. So everybody go to Rudy's house.
Leave the guns at home, please.
Yeah, leave the guns at home. All right. Well, that puts a wrap on this live episode of Spurs in Focus. Again, subscribe. What are you waiting for? Go to YouTube, hit subscribe. Spurs in Focus Substack, go hit subscribe. Podcast, you can go to Apple, iTunes, Spotify. You know where to go. Go subscribe right now. Maybe we'll be back on Sunday, depending on the schedule. It is Mother's Day. But after the game is over, there's a chance that myself and Rudy might be live. If not, we'll have an episode for you ready to go on Monday to recap Game 4. Hopefully it's a 3-1 lead at that time, but we shall see. Crossing fingers. Before we let y'all go, happy Mother's Day to everybody. Make sure to go say hi to your mama. Don't forget to read her on Sunday. Yeah, even if it's a quick hello, call, spend some time with her. So again, happy Mother's Day to all the moms that could be listening and watching this episode of Spurs in Focus. So for Mr. Rudy will not go streaking Campos, My name is Jeff Garcia, and now you're in focus with Spurs in Focus.